Welcome all of you to a course on uh, business mathematics. In business mathematics, we are going to start with mathematics of finance. So here I have specified simple interest. Okay, fine. Anyway, we are going to do these things. First of all, let us see what do we mean by mathematics of finance. First of all, let us see what do we mean by a finance. Finance. It means the involvement of money takes place, right? So the involvement of money is the only thing that we deal in finance. That is a good question, but do we have answers for it? Okay, let us see one by one. Like whatever we deal in finance is because of some transactions that is taking place between two persons or between two concerns or between two companies or whatsoever. Okay, it may not be between two persons or it may be among a group as well. Because if suppose I am running a textile industry, I will have to be in connection with the yarn industry as well as the marketing industry, advertisement, or these are some situations, these are some companies with whom I'll have to have the connection, right? So in these things, what is actually taking place? Okay, we exchange goods, they do services for us. All these are paid in terms of money. So in financial mathematics or mathematics of finance, the primary thing that we deal is always money. Okay, so the money remains changed. That's what we are trying to say. No, right? So this money, suppose I'm having a 10,000 rupees at present, the worth of this money is not same 10,000 when I look at it after a month or after a year. It will be changed. So here the other factor that takes place is time. So the value of money will not remain same as the time passes. So the time also plays a very important role in financial mathematics. Okay, money is there, time is there. Anything else? There are some what unpredictable things. Okay, there are some unpredictable things that may also takes place in a financial environment, right? Like the COVID crisis arised just a year ago. There may be some unpredictable things that may happen and that affects the financial things, right, as it affected now. So whenever these unpredictable things occurs, we will have to go for probability theory. Okay, hope you people, most of us might have heard of this probability theory, the basics of probability in our SSLC itself, and those who pursued higher secondary education with mathematics might have studied this thing. But in our course, we are not going to deal this unpredictable things. Okay, we are not going to do with this. We will deal with the predictable things only. Okay, so this is just an introductory kind of course where it is very preliminary. We will see only the preliminary things. We will not go beyond that. These are some fundamentals with which we can go for the higher terms. Hence, we are about to deal with only the predictable things. Okay, these are the things that we are going to see. Okay, here the very first that we are going to start with is in mathematics of finance. The things that we will have to have in our mind to proceed further is that simple interest and compound interest. These are the two types of interest calculations that takes place and with which we developed so many theories and so many methods and so many scenarios. Okay, so in these things what actually happens, that is what we are going to see. Okay, in simple interest, a amount. Okay, we will start with an amount that we call it as principal amount. Okay, the principal amount remains same throughout the period. be it a year, be it a couple of years, be it 10 years, be it 15 years, be it 50 years, the principal amount remains changed. Okay, but in financial mathematics, the money worth will not be the same as time progress, right? So each time, mostly we take the unit of a time to be a year. Okay, in a year, this money is worth of more than this. Okay, when it is worth of more than that, it is going to give you something extra with your principal amount, and that we call it as interest. Okay, the interest is there in both simple interest as well as in compound interest. The interest amount is same for every unit of time in simple interest. That means if it is giving you only 500 rupees extra in the first year, it is going to give you the same 500 in the upcoming years as well. That is your simple interest does. Whereas your compound interest does what? It is in the first year you are getting 500 extra in the sense, along with your principal amount, this 500 gets added and that becomes the principal amount for the next year. So you are going to get something extra for the extra that you have earned in the last year. That happens in the compound interest. Okay, so here we will start with simple interest. Okay, here the initial amount that we invest or that we get, that we borrow, that we lend, whatever it is, that we call it as principal amount, and that is denoted using the letter P. Okay, and here based on what the money is giving us extra money. Okay, there comes the concept of percentage. Okay, certain percentage of this money will be the extra, that kind of a thing we have, and that percentage here we call it as the rate of interest. Okay, and that is denoted using the letter R, right? So P is taken to be the principal amount, and the extra money that in the name of interest that we are going to get is denoted using the letter I. Right? This is the interest amount. Okay. So we have a certain amount that we call it as principal amount or a principal value. Okay. This we may simply call it as interest or amount, and along with the principal the extra money called interest gets added, and that we call it as the total amount or simply amount, and that is denoted using the letter A. Okay, and the number of years or the number of time units is denoted using the letter N. Okay, in general it is years. So these are the notations that we are going to make use in this course, and let us move further. Okay, in simple interest, how do we calculate the interest? Right? So how are we going to calculate? This is P is the money that we initially have. Okay, this money will give me the extra money called interest based on the percentage. If I have to calculate the 5% of this principal amount P, what will I do? I will multiply 5% to it. Okay, and this is being calculated for 3 years, in the sense I will multiply 3. So here this 5% and 3 years are replaced with the general notations R percentage and number of years. This R percentage may be written as R upon 100. So this is going to give me what? P times of NR upon 100. Okay, what is the thing happening here? I have a certain amount. I will have to calculate a certain percentage of that amount, and the same has to be calculated for certain number of times. That is what this formula gives me. And I know the total amount is the principal amount plus the interest that we earned. So this may also be written as P plus PNR upon 100. If mathematically speaking, if we take this P outside, what are we going to get? 1 plus NR upon 100. Okay. Now coming to the problem point of view, just look at these things. In the first formula, we have I equals PNR upon 100. This 100 is a fixed numerical value, so we don't need to bother about it. This PNR. Once we know the values of PNR, we can calculate the interest value. Okay. If we are asked to calculate the interest. If we are asked to calculate the total amount, then with the help of P, N and R, we can calculate the total amount. Okay. In the first formula, we have 4 notations that are being used. Once we know the 3 things, we can find the other. If suppose the interest rate is given, principal amount is given, and the interest earned is given, but the number of years in which we gain this interest is unknown, we may still substitute the known values here and try to squeeze n value out of it. The same goes in A as well. Now let us get into the problems. We'll start with simple problems and we'll get into some practical kind of situations where how we make use of these things. Right? The first problem that we are going to do is this one. Okay. We are asked to calculate the simple interest on the sum of rupees 6,000, which means here given principal value is rupees 6,000 and the rate of interest is 10% per annum and the number of years is 3 years. Okay, here we will have to be very careful with the units. Okay, and we are asked to calculate what? We need to calculate the I value, interest value. So we know I is PNR upon 100, right? So the P value here is 6,000 and N value is 3 and R is 10 upon 100, right? Once you do the calculations, what are you going to get? You are going to get 1,800, which means the simple interest, if you have to make a complete statement, the simple interest on the sum of rupees 6,000 at 10% per annum for 3 years is rupees 1,800, because interest is the money that we are getting out of it. So we'll have to specify the proper things. Okay, we will see in another problem. Here what is given? We are asked to calculate the total amount, which means here we need to find out A value, right? That will be received from a debtor. Okay, when the principal rupees 10,000 is lent to him on interest for 4 years at 9% per annum. Okay, when we look at it from a layman point of view or from a person who is into commerce or economics, we have to be very careful with what do we mean by debtor and other technical terms. If we are simply a mathematician or if we simply look at it from the mathematics point of view, here the principal value is 10,000, N value is 4 and R value is 9%. This is per annum, this is in years and this is in rupees, right? Okay, as of now we just look at it in the mathematics point of view and complete it, and let us see what do we mean by the debtor, what do we mean by the creditor, and all those technical terms also we will explore. Okay, here we know that A can be written as P times of 1 plus NR upon 100. Here this P value, N value, R value is given and we are asked to find out the A value. Okay, it is 10,000, 1 plus N value is 4, R value is 9 upon 100. So it is going to be 10,000 times of 1 plus 36 upon 100. So it is 10,000 times of 1 plus it is 0.36. So 10,000 times of 1.36 It is going to be rupees 13,600. So this is the total amount that will be received from the debtor.